Callie Lawson-Freeman, happy day after Labor Day. No WNBA games on yesterday, obviously, because the holiday, but also there doesn't always tend to be games on Monday. So we're back. WNBA action is back tonight. A team that you cover is going to be playing tonight. There's going to be so many different games tonight. So I'm the season is like speeding along, but I feel like Callie, there have been certain conversations that have been like percolating all season that have been decided, right? And I think one of those is the rookie of the year race. I don't think there's really any more debate around it, right? I think it's Caitlin Clark's, which was always the expectation. She has been the Vegas odds on favorite all year. And she just has taken her game to even another level in the W, right? Which is what you expect of great players. So uh, we will talk about all the other rookies, but you know, Caitlin's been amazing since like the Olympic break coming back. So it's weird. It's just not weird, but it sort of was like it was that first break that the Indiana Fever had in the season, like around June. They had like a 5-day break, and then like they were playing better. Caitlin was looking better, the team was looking better, and that just like continued. And then the Olympic break came, and now they look like they're potentially one of the best teams in the league. And a lot of that has to do with Caitlin Clark. She's been sensational. She's putting up amazing numbers. I mean, look at this. Look at her scoring, right? So 31 points was her rookie career high. That just happened in the last game that they played for Chicago. But she has all 5 of the highest, scoring games by a rookie this season. She's already breaking the rookie scoring record for most points in Indiana Fever franchise history. Most 3-point makes by a rookie in WNBA history. She has 12 double doubles, which is the most by a guard. So we're always talking about Angel Reese's double doubles, but she also is doing the thing with the double doubles. I mean, she's basically everything is advertised and more. And so, like we said, the rookie of the year race is hers. I don't see any way she can really lose it at this point. So it is hers. So I don't think we need to really have a rookie of the year debate, but let's talk about this all rookie class. And obviously headlighting it at the top is Caitlin Clark because she's having a phenomenal year.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's so interesting because when you try to imagine the all-rookie team, it feels like a few of those spots are already like locked in and decided. Like Caitlin Clark's the headliner, and then of course Angel Reese, who was kind of battling for that Rookie of the Year title for a good chunk of this season, is like locked up in that spot as well. And then you look, you go down the list. It's like Camila Cardozo. You can't leave them out. Plus, it's not unheard of for one team to have 2 all rookies. The New York Liberty had that in 2021 or something. So that was like Michaela Onyenwere and Dee Dee Richards. Yeah, so like it happens, and I think that that's going to be the sky this year. Like they'll have Camilla and Angel on the all rookie team. But like as I try to, I don't know, like finalize my vote or like imagine my ballot, the last final spot is a little bit, I'm unsure. You know what I
Well,
mean? So
you
it's like,
only named 3 rookies so far anyway. So you're saying the last
who am
final,
I
but
forgetting? I'm forgetting somebody then. So I said Angel, or Caitlin, Angel, Camilla. There's one other rookie. I'm like blanking, but there's a 4th.
Gia Jackson.
Thank you, Rakia Jackson. But here's what I'm gonna say. I blame Kurt Miller for that. The reason why I'm blanking is that because this whole season, it's been so clear. Like, okay, we know who our rookie conversations are, but Rakia wasn't getting a lot of play time in the beginning of the season. And I remember we talked about that. We were like, why is Rakia not getting more minutes? She should be starting even because of the way that she was playing off the bench in some games. And now, like you see here, 4th player in Sparks history to have 400 points in a season as a rookie, which is so impressive. But like, I'm not surprised by this. Obviously, if you watched her at Tennessee, you knew she was going to be super talented, but she has been as advertised. And it kind of sucks that like the conditions that led to her getting such a prominent role
And look
on
at
this
the names though on this list. I mean, you have Candace Parker, Nneka Ogwumike, and then Lisa Leslie, all
right.
champions,
Legendary Sparks.
all MVPs.
Yeah,
She right now in her last 5 games is averaging over 17 points, close to 18 points, Callie.
yeah,
So she's very likely going to get into a 500 club and be an exclusive club just underneath Candace Parker, And so I think that's important to note because, you know, really if she wasn't coming off the bench to start the season, she might have been in that 600 club exclusively with Candace Parker. The only player to win Rookie of the Year and MVP in the same year, and that is very elite company.
100%. Incredibly like, and she's so talented. Like when the Sparks came to Vegas, she led the Sparks in scoring in that game, and it was so impressive. It was like every single time you looked up, you're like, there goes Rakia again, and she scores in like these very creative ways. Like her drives to the basket, everything looks crafty, but she's not just like that's not her only threat driving to the basket. Like she can shoot, she just is really exciting to watch. And so I'm hoping that like people, I mean, I'm sure everybody is aware, like you said, that stat alone is insane company to be in. So locked in, and that
And
spot, the top four.
not known out of college to be a 3-point shooter, but she's shooting like on 5 3-point makes like a very great percentage right now. And so she's really rounding out her game. I saw a cute video the other day where she talked about the fact that like she was tired of getting cooked, so she also worked on her defense. And I just think that's such a great awareness to have as like a rookie, and knowing that she doesn't, because everyone keeps referring to her now as like the pure scorer. So I know she's the kind of player that bag Twitter will love, but she's she's putting everyone on notice that she wants to also be recognized as a two-way player, not just a scoring threat. And so I think that's so amazing for her.
Yeah, 100%.
So, Callie, you mentioned, because I know you talked about being undecided, but you are decided on Caitlin Clark, you're decided on Rakia Jackson, as we already discussed, and you talked about the two Chicago Sky rookies. So let's start with Camila Cardozo. Um, she had a career high the other day, 22 points versus the Minnesota Lynx. They are one of the top defenses in the WNBA. So not an easy thing to do to have your career high so far as a rookie be that game. A few games before that, we talked about it last week. She had a career high 18 points. Camilla's definitely a player that I wish hadn't been hurt to start the season, because I think she would have also been firmly, like we mentioned with Rakia, planted in the Rookie of the Year conversation. What do you make of how she's been performing like post the Olympic break?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the Olympic break has been so beneficial for just like the league in general. We're seeing so many exciting performances because of the rest. And I think Camilla is a great example of that. I not only like the rest and obviously being pretty far removed from that shoulder injury, but just like the way that the Sky has leaned into utilizing her. I think we're seeing spurts of that where you're like, okay, they're allowing her to be like a prime point of focus in the offense. Then also she's really impressive defensively. Like you can put her against Asia Wilson's, like you can put her against really impressive. And Asia is not necessarily like solely a post player, but like she's someone who does play in the post. And Camilla can stand her own. Like she can block shots, she can fight for rebounds. I know we talk about Angel Reese a lot with the rebounding, but Camilla is just as impressive. Obviously, you always say, what is it? You can't teach 6'7" or however tall she is. So I think that the Sky is like they're like she's starting to gel, I think, better with them. Obviously, this guy has they're going through their trials and tribulations and things like that. But it is cool to see the way that Camilla has been utilized and been able to shine since the Olympic break.
For sure. And then what about Angel Reese, who we've talked about like so much this season, who has been incredible and like you mentioned was definitely in the Rookie of the Year mix for a long time, for a large part of this season.
Yeah, I mean, I think so recently, like, and I think we might have already talked about this by the time that it happened, but like setting the rebounding record for a single season, which is just insane. 405 rebounds, and she's passing Sylvia Fowles, which I just love that because there's that LSU connection, and obviously Sylvia Fowles retired a legend, so it's really cool that the company that she's in, and just like I think that, I don't ever want to discount those rebounds. I saw a tweet the other day that I thought was so so funny. Somebody was like, and obviously this is not true. Angel Reese is not only rebounding her own shots, but somebody was like, if Angel's only rebounding her own shots, then why doesn't the other team stop her from doing it then? Like, it was just so funny to me because it's like,
Kev
well,
on
yeah,
stage. That was Kev on stage. Just
yeah, like
hilarious.
I was cracking up at that. I thought it was so funny. But, and to me, that's like the crux of all this. It's like she cannot be stopped. She's unstoppable. She is so determined. And I think that can't be taught. 6'7" can't be taught, but persistence like that cannot be taught. So I would say kudos to her. I hope that even though like the rookie of the year is settled, like the all-rookie team, I think is still really impressive as an accomplishment. And it's something that she can just continue to build on.
Well, yeah. And I mean, just to remind folks, Angel Reese was an all-star this year, just like Caitlin Clark. They were both all-stars. Angel Reese also is leading the league in rebounds.
Yeah.
Right? So just like Caitlin Clark has a stat category that she has, she's leading the league in assists, which is crazy impressive when you think about players like Alyssa Thomas, who led the league last year and is second to her this year, right? And we know what she can do. That is so impressive. So the fact that each one of them has a stat category in the WNBA that they're leading is super impressive. So she's leading the league in rebounds. She not only broke the record for the most rebounds, like you mentioned, and that's for Sylvia Fowles, and it was crazy because it was against the Lynx, right, her former team, but also she broke the offensive for offensive rebounds record, right? And that was a record that was in place for like since 2001, you know? So when everyone keeps saying that this is normal, and the players that she's breaking, the records that she's breaking, these are all players that are legends.
Yeah.
They're WNBA legends. So if this is so easy,
People are saying that this is normal. That is
let me not say
insane.
that they're saying it's normal. They're actually being dismissive of what she's doing, right? You know, I saw someone refer to her the other day as a role player. I don't know this need to downplay Angel. We've talked a lot about why we think that's occurring, but you know, I saw someone put this into context and I like the way that they really said it. Whereas like there are only 2 players, I think it was 4 before. I'm not sure if Nafisa is back in there, but Nafisa was one of the 4 players. Uh Asia Wilson and Angel, those were the only 3 players that were even averaging a double-double in the league, and now it's just down to 2. So you're talking about the 2 players who are in the MVP conversation, right? Nafisa Collier told Angel she did a good job on her, and she did. Nafisa didn't go off like she normally does, and we saw that Angel Reese battles with Asia Wilson too, right? We watched it. We talked about that. So, the way that what she's doing is trying to be minimized, you know, I'm definitely not with that. And so what she is doing is incredible. When Sylvia Fowles is recording like a message to you, and Nafisa is telling you you did a good job on her, and Asia Wilson is battling for the boards with you, and she's like, all right, you have it, girl, you got it, right? And when Kevin Garnett is shouting you out, when you have NBA, WNBA legends both shouting you out like that, yeah, you're pretty special. And so we should put some respect on Angel Reese's name. So yeah. So, but listen, Callie, you said that you were struggling to figure out your 5th and final spot, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
those 4 are locks for you. Nothing can change for the 4 that we've discussed.
I mean, I don't think. I mean, I'm looking at the schedule. We have 8 games left. I feel like I've seen what I need to see. You know what I mean? Like, and for those 4, I think for the 5th spot, it gets a little bit interesting because you could do like Aaliyah Edwards in that spot. You know, who has, as a rookie, to get the type of minutes that she's getting, like she's carrying like a substantial load for the Mystics, and so I think that's an option. But then there's also Julie Van-Loo, who I love. Like, I'm a writer, so I love a good story. You know what I mean? And she's the oldest rookie in the league at 31 years old. I think in league history at 31 years old. And like, this was her dream to play in the WNBA. And she waited and waited and waited. And finally it's happened. And I think that before the Olympic break, like if we would have stopped the voting before the Olympic break, I think she would have had a good shot at making the all-rookie team.
Right.
However, if you look at kind of her numbers, I think her efficiency has decreased a little bit since the Olympic break. And that's not for no reason. She recently tweeted that it's so hard to do the Olympics and then come and complete a full season. She was giving kudos to all the other players that did it because she did it, you know? So
Right.
I think that you're kind of seeing that in her performance. And so that kind of, I don't know. So that it's like, I'm just not sure between that. But then here's where it gets really interesting to me is when we talk about the all-rookie team, I don't hear a lot of people talk about Cameron Brink. And I know that like that sounds crazy because she only played what, like 15 games?
Yes.
But if
You
you
cannot
look
put
at some
Cameron
of
Brink
these,
on your all-rookie team.
huh?
You can't put her on your all-rookie team.
But why not? So I look back. So let's just look at like the NBA, for example. Like let's look at the NBA. Zion Williamson only played 24 games in 2020, and he still made the all-rookie team. And 24 games in the NBA season is like nothing. That's like a blip of games. And he still made the all-rookie team. To me, it's like Cam, if you look at stat categories, she's still leading. And not leading in some, but she's like up there, like top 3, top 5 blocks, rebounds. And she has not played in months. So to me, it's like you do like I'm not saying I'm gonna do it. I'm just saying these are the things I'm considering. This is what I'm thinking about in terms of the all-rookie team. And I don't know if it's really that outlandish to put her on there. Like I don't know.
Well, I don't think that Cameron Brink should be on the all-rookie team. And I love Cam Brink. That is my girl. But I just think that that's a hard case to make. I don't think it would have been a hard case at all, if she would have played all year. And I think she's another rookie who would have been in the mix. It's unfortunate because I think with Cam Brink getting injured, that allowed to see the full greatness of Rikia. And I wish it wouldn't have been that. I mean, we talked about that early in the season that like they both just need to be starting and playing. So, it kind of impacted both of them. But yeah, I mean, Cameron Brink's great. And I know she's going to come back and have a great sophomore year, but I don't think that, I don't think that she can be on the rookie team. You mentioned Van Loo, you mentioned Aaliyah Edwards, and their stats are somewhat similar. So that's a pretty it's a difficult choice, and you can make arguments for either. I'm not a writer. And I'm also not compelled by storylines enough to like put people in award categories, but a lot of people are. So I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. It's just like, great, you have a nice story, but I'm gonna really decide your case based on like what happens on the court. So I think the way these last remaining 8 games go, I think will decide it. But there is one more rookie that I'd like to present to you for consideration, and that is Leonie Fibich on the New York Liberty. Stats may not jump off the stat sheet because of how she was being utilized initially, and she wasn't always like a starter, but she's been crazy impactful for the New York Liberty. And I think because they are a number 1 team and she came over from Europe, and I think there's a lot of reasons why attention isn't on her like the way it may not be on Van Loo. Though I think there was more on Van Loo, and I am hearing people start to talk about Leonie now. But I just think because of the way that team is already sort of stacked, if you will, she may not get like the proper consideration that she deserves. But as you are trying to round out your ballot, and I'm not saying she's the one, I'm not sure, but I think my final 3, if I had a vote, like you, I do not have a vote. So for all you crazy people who come at me, I don't have a vote. So really, you're wasting your time getting upset over my opinion. But I will appeal to Callie, who does. That is, if I was a voter, my final spot would come down to Aaliyah, Julie, or Leonie.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was looking at Leonie. I had a feeling you'd bring her up since you're in that New York market. So I was like, okay. But I mean,
the New York market doesn't think I like their team, just for the record. But go ahead.
see, they just don't know. They don't watch. They gotta tap in. But no, I was looking. I mean, her stats and Julie's stats are like pretty similar. I mean, in terms of like points per game and things like that. So that is what kind of when I was drawing my line, she kind of just like fell below it. But like, I agree. I mean, I think she has a case. But I don't think Cameron Brink is out of the conversation. That might be like my hot take. I haven't seen
It is a
anybody
hot
talking about
take.
this.
I'm shocked by that. I don't think I've heard anyone say that.
Listen, you're
But
lucky I didn't say Kate Martin. And I blame Becky Hammon for that, because if Kate Martin was playing, I would try to make a case for Kate, but she's
I
not playing.
blame
So I can't
I
do it.
blame the Aces for that and the way they're playing, which forced Kate out of the lineup because now like Becky feels like she has to probably overutilize her starters. But listen, I think, like I said, I think these final 8 games will determine that fifth spot. And of course, I mean, I know you have the precedent for giving Cameron Brink that rookie spot, but I think that's definitely a hot take. But like, if you really believe it's Cameron Brink, then and she's the compelling case for you, then listen, stand on business, Callie.
I gotta think about it before I stand on business. Right now, I'm standing kind of shakily. I'm like leaning on business. I'm like going towards business, but I'm definitely not standing on business yet. But it's an interesting idea, and I thought, I don't know. We'll see.
Well, there you have it. Our all rookie team with 4 places solidified where we are in agreement, and then 1 outstanding. So we'll see what the people have to say about this and if they agree with us. Callie, this was fun. Appreciate you as always.